Welcome back to the OPL, where Legacy has absolutely wiped the floor in Chiefs of Game 1. A very one-sided affair after a quick start from the Chiefs. Hello, I am Jake Spawn-Tiveri, joined by Fish and Rusty down the end of the analyst desk. And guys, I don't know if anyone could have called such a decisive victory coming out for Legacy.
Oof. It was an absolute shellacking, Spawn, one could say.
See, I got told, I was going to say it as well, I've been tossing this one up, and it's not a bias thing. I've been told that it's overused now. So I've decided that it has to be 25 minutes and under for a shellacking to really come into play. And a shellacking that game was not, Fish.
Oh, it was close.
It was close,
but it was not.
I was on the edge of my seat. I was really excited to call a Legacy shellacking there, but unfortunately not the case.
I thought a shellacking is just when a team has over 10,000 gold and wins the game. I mean, that's
pretty
the
standard
truth.
when you win a game of League of Legends, isn't it?
When you come up with a coinable phrase like shellacking, you can tell the people what a shellacking is. Until then, you get your own phrase.
You invented the word? My goodness. You're absolutely right. It was a very decisive game, Swan.
I called it a one-sided affair. Let's move on. What do the Chiefs need to change? Is it just get 3 bans back and hope that they have a better mid-game?
I mean, obviously the 3 bans will help the Chiefs quite a bit, given what happened last time. They were on blue side, and being on red, Legacy get 2 of the OP options that weren't able to be banned away. I think that they could look at the draft, they could attack the draft a bit more vigorously here, and maybe take things away from Legacy opposed to just pick for themselves.
They have to clean up a few of their early game mistakes as well, and it's all execution. Swift were flashing into the wall, Spooks coming out to save him. That was 2 kills given away, and then that big team fight, they got Nara ahead with Swift diving into the back line and dying off the back of that. That's inexcusable. You have to clean those plays up.
Speaking of that fight, we've watched it a couple of times. I think the wall is good. I think taking the wall is a very poor choice out of the captain of the Chiefs, and I think that he won't repeat that going into game number 2. However, something that we saw that might be a worrying trend was the fact that Ejim was roaming, but Raze was staying at home, whilst both Lost and Cupcake were making it to the fights.
Yeah, it was kind of one-sided in that one of them was leaving, the other one was staying at home the entire time. And Ejim, he can only do so much of the paying the bills before the bills start to rack up. Legacy getting team fights, a bit of a concern, honestly, and you can see this reflected through the score, let's say, of Raze being able to participate in 4 kills total and dying 4 times. The only time he participated was usually when he was dying.
And I sung the praises of Raze's entire split, but this is the first game, I believe, where he's looked similar to the form he had when he went to the first international tournament with the Chiefs, where he completely fumbled. And this game was exactly that. I hope that he's able to bounce back because he's looked phenomenal this entire split.
That was the stat I wanted to look at. 8,000 damage versus 16,000 damage. Lost has doubled him in these fights, and this game didn't go for all that long, so it's not like he's ramping up to disgusting level.
And there's no reason that a Caitlyn should have that little damage as well. If you look at the amount that Braum did in comparison, he was only 2k behind the Caitlyn. Caitlyn's meant to do well in lane. Sure, maybe you don't do well in lane. You still leave that lane and do damage in team fights. You have range, you have trap lines. Just never happened.
And they're throwing away a lot of the strengths that lane had. I mean, even starting with that very extended jungle leash they gave to Spooks, he was able to use that very well to get the blue buff away, but he didn't take his own. That second blue buff was left there until 8 minutes and given over towards Swiffer, whereas they came into lane, completely lost any pressure they could have had at level 1 and gave some lead back to the Legacy bot
And I will
lane.
say that Legacy did a smart thing, though, to try and counteract perhaps the Caitlyn or the composition of the Chiefs by immediately engaging, by going forwards, not relying on a Mega Gnar, which is very timed and you can teleport in and Cannon will then match it anyway. It was the Gragas flash body slams. Caitlyn can't set up trap lines, can't defend turrets if within 3 seconds of getting there, Legacy are diving it.
And that's what I want to talk about. For the first time for tonight, I feel like we've actually seen clean execution of team fights, and it was actually from the Legacy lineup. Maybe not someone that we're used to saying that about. They're much more known for their, roaming through jungles and looking for the scrappy setups, with the Nunu, with the Bard. But this game, when Sin, Chiefs, and Direwolves have played, you would have expected some clean team fightings, but Legacy brought it to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, they certainly did, and it was impressive to watch, honestly, from them being able to do that much damage as a Kalista and a Talia, being able to 1v1 her while you've got the ground everywhere, the pebbles that you can't jump over, like these small things that add up in team fights, and the fact that they look clean in team fights, and as I mentioned, they're not using the Mega Gnar as the primary focus. He was the cleanup with the Mega Gnar. Like, that only bodes well for Legacy into a game 2.
Which speaks wonders for Carbon as well, because you take a look at Chiefs, Swiffer and Spooks, the dynamic neuro. You don't think of that so much for Claire and Carbon, but Carbon was able to facilitate these team fights and be the leader that Legacy really needed in that game.
Yeah, it certainly was. As we pull them up on your screen, you can see Spooks still not with a bad score, 3-3-7. Probably the only member of the Chiefs that had the kind of game that he likes to reflect. But Captain Courageous over on the other side, Timmy Wendell, Nintendo 64 was absolutely everywhere.
And a lot of times where we see Carbon falter is when he's against aggressive junglers like Schönfire, who pick up picks like Kha'Zix or Elise and get into Carbon's jungle. Playing against the Zac with the Gragas matchup, he's able to clear just fine. He's able to go toe-to-toe and farm with him side to side and be absolutely okay.
And I wonder, with that point being in mind as well, do you want to actually give Carbon the Zac, and is that why Spooks has picked it up for himself? Or do the Chiefs actually even care that much to invade him when the tank jungle meta doesn't clear all that fast? I would still say that Gragas has actually popped up today to be perhaps the #1 priority jungler, even over Zac.
And who knows, the first series we saw Kha'Zix permanently banned. Perhaps this time around with the bans that Chiefs could have, they could take away the Gragas, take away the Zac, and maybe put Spooks on that champion and take it to Carbon in
Is
the
that going to be the case, though? Because I'm looking down the lines of tanks, and I'm seeing Maokai, Gragas, Rek'Sai, Zac, Cho'Gath. There are so many tank junglers at the moment. Can you actually ban them out?
I think, again, it comes down to an order of priority. If there is like a Maokai and you've got a really good level 1 composition, just find him, prevent the saplings from coming down. Then you win the jungle regardless. He'll clear fine, but not as quick as he could, right?
Yep.
Whereas a Gragas, you can take away a camp from him. You can take away 3 of them. He's still going to be Gragas. He's still going to be super powerful. And so you look down the list of like, yes, there's a million tanks there, but there's still the #1 priority champions that you have to remove.
Well, let's see what are the champions that Chiefs decide to remove in this match. They're back, they're on the red side for this game, but they have all 3 of their bans back. Legacy, take this chance to send 2 bans Ejim's way. Thresh and Rakan being banned out straight off the bat.
I like that. It's a lot of the playmaking that actually was available in that game for the Chiefs, and they hit it straight away. They show good respect towards Ejim's ability to roam, and maybe they can force one of these infamous, unorthodox lanes that come out of the Legacy lineup.
And this is definitely Ejim's meta coming into this with heavy initiation supports, tank-like supports in the bottom lane as well. He's going to be very happy with the picks he's getting so far. A decent game on Rakan last match, but it was a very big deficit that Chiefs were up against. Braum was the final ban from them, with Jace following through, so Clay will not have that champion. Plenty of picks left open, and Zac left open as well. Legacy decided not to take it first, instead prioritizing Kalista as their first pick.
They remove a lot of the Kalista combos off Summoner's Rift though. Thresh, Rakan, Braum, all gone. Not a lot of tanks left. You look towards Alistar, something that was banned in game #1. Trundle's a very weak version of the Alistar that kind of does what you want in being a tank and get in the front line. And like Tahm Kench is the worst that I have to pick something version.
Legacy, however, have shown that they're happy to play Kalista Bard in the bottom lane, so curious to see what the Chiefs decide to pick up here. First pick for them, Xayah as their AD carry.
And to be clear as well, Alistar is a good option, but I don't know if the Chiefs want to pick that this early when the Bard is there, because level 1 against it, it's pretty risky. Bard's always an option.
But they've gone for the Alistar pick, locked in here. Zac's still left up. We still have plenty of incredibly strong picks.
It is time for me to put my money where my mouth is, and time for Cupcake to do the same. If Bard is the all-powerful champion that they make him out to be, pick it right now. You've got 2 sub 475 range champions down there in a lane. If he can, you know, pick up the champion and show that it's a bully, I would be very impressed.
Well, Carbon's locked in Zac as his jungler of choice. Now, Legacy. Traditionally, this is where we see supports being picked up, but that pool has been targeted heavily. And it's going to be Taric. You mentioned this at the start of the day, Rusty. It gets locked in for Legacy.
Yeah. Taric's really good right now. He's known as a counter to tank champions, which is where you're often seeing him played. And the thing that I like about Taric in most team compositions is the way the meta has progressed to have so many tanks, so much damage that takes time to ramp up, and a lot less of the Zeds and the one-hits that are running around. Taric diffuses all of that with his ultimate alone.
Oh, we have another Cho'Gath game being played here as Spooks picks up the big terror from the void.
I didn't want to interrupt Rusty, so I wrote it down instead.
Ah, you did too.
I did.
You did. I can see that
Called
you
it.
said Cho'Gath.
Just wants to have a relevant tank. Farms quicker than Zac at the moment, Cho'Gath. Also, one of the dangers as a Zac is if you jump in and get silenced immediately and blown up, he does need items to get tanky. Once he has the items, he's a very tanky fellow. But if you can't get those team fights, then it becomes dangerous. What I am worried about, however, is you can wind up the elastic slingshot, you know, you get the W put on you from the Taric, and you just become invulnerable as you jump in. What the heck do you do as a Chiefs if an unkillable Zac launches at your back?
I mean, it feels like both of these teams are going the unkillable route, Spawn. The question is, who can survive the longest in the tank battles?
Well, the first 2 bans coming out from these teams, and second ban phase is Cassidy for the Chiefs, with Nah being banned by Legacy.
Ooh, do you get rid of Gragas? how tanky are these lineups going to go? Will they run the likes of Gragas top lane?
I don't think either of these teams would. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I think that was a Sin special.
Let's see. Camille's the final ban from the Chiefs. Legacy still waiting for their last ban.
Maybe a Nara and a Cannon just remove some champions.
Renekton instead is their final ban.
Who do the Chiefs give counterpick to? I would say they give it to Swiper and actually just keep Swiffer on something neutral like a Corki, like a Talia.
I was going to suggest Kled because, again, when you look at the tanks that are up and available, this is one of the few remaining that is quite good into most matchups. It beats the Jarvan usually in a 1v1 if that's where Tally wants to go. I think that whilst you can empower your top laner to have the counter pick, this is nearly uncounterable already unless Tally goes the all-in Fiora route.
Provides the speed for both Cho'Gath as well as Alistar to initiate effectively as well. And let's see if the final pick from Swiffer is going to be a counter thrown at Claire. Legacy have to show their hand now. Got to pick their top laner. And Tally seems to be confident to go for the Jarvan matchup. And final pick, Claire now has to tell Swiffer what is he playing in the mid lane.
I mean, Kled historically is like a soft counter.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's an incredibly
It's not a
difficult
hard counter,
matchup, right? Kled can, of course, just gallop out of the ultimate. He doesn't really care about the damage early. Jarvan at the same time, he's going to scale up. He's going to get beefy. They go the same item route. I would argue that Jarvan on your squishies isn't as dangerous as Kled on your squishies. So it'll be an interesting matchup, to say the least.
Blind Orianna picked up by Legacy.
And I'm a little bit sad that Legacy didn't go full Fiora route. Just when you're looking at it, Kled loses hard to Fiora in that matchup. You can never use your bear trap on a rope where you just lose a fight. And that is really detrimental to any Kled lane. But you're right, they'll scale up nicely against each other. It plays out nicely here that Chiefs do still get the counter mid lane. We have some damage.
And that's a much better pick. They were hovering Syndra and I was petrified because when you've got an Orianna ball, a Jarvan, as well as a Zac going to be launching at yourself, if you do not have a way to get out of that, you are in a sticky situation. LeBlanc at the same time, she's going to be able to turn the map into a 1-3-1 fish, and no one else apart from the Jarvan can really go to a side lane to deal with her. At the same time, if they stay in 1-4 incredibly tightly, we've seen the Chiefs attack that, go to the side lane, kill the Jarvan, and then be able to teleport with both members back to the fight.
Yeah, of course, running the double teleport, which LeBlanc will always have, means that you can threaten 1-4s with a 2-3 type of setup, and diving an Alistar, diving a Xayah, diving a Cho'Gath, like, just don't even think about it, really.
And Orianna's one of those champions that hates to move towards the side lanes. Claire not going to be happy going into this matchup. We'll have to see how he does. He has historically shown that he can pick the Orianna blind and do absolutely fine to whatever matchup's thrown his way. Now we have to see if he can do it against one of the best mid laners in Oceania, being Swiffer.
I'm surprised it's not the Victor. I actually think Victor is a better blind pick at the moment because he's laning phase. Sure, it's not as strong, but he can go to that side lane. And he gives LeBlanc a little bit of a difficult situation in historical context.
And then is it for team composition purposes with Zac and Jarvan diving in?
See, I believe it's for team comp, but at the same time, look at the Chiefs roster of champions and tell me that Jarvan Orianna is the game-winning combo right there, because it isn't. None of them die to that combo at all. And ultimately, I do believe that the Victor may have been better. Go Lichbane, side lane, if that's what it takes, so you can match a LeBlanc. But, I mean, there is a combo there from Legacy. There is a nasty combo.
If it hits Raze, they win the game.
Yeah.
However, if Raze gets hit, you know, with Flash, with the Xayah ultimate, he's made the mistake.
Yeah, and he's on his most comfortable champion. It seems to be the Splitter champion that constantly gets bans thrown over towards the Chiefs on Xayah. Curious to see how he's going to pan or how he's going to do in this match against Legacy. Heading into game number 2 of this best of 3 series, Legacy currently lead 1-0, and rightfully so after a very decisive game 1.
I was trying to come up with a flavor for Yellow Zac, by the way, and I couldn't come up with anything other than
Banana.
gold at gay time. But it's gold. I've never had a gold banana.
Is it golden? I thought he's yellow.
I don't know what bananas you eat.
Boons, as Ejim affectionately calls them.
Goodness. Edam's got the Murukau Alistar skin as well. No, stop. He's laughing to himself about this. Stop it.
There we go.
He does this irritating thing where he just hits the bell once and he stops. It tilts me more than just letting the animation continue.
Really? You get tilted by strange things, my friend.
Just let him play his bell. Don't stop him.
I mean, fish gets tilted by round objects, so...
Yeah, that's true. Curved buildings.
Yeah.
To be specific.
Well, I didn't want to be.
They shouldn't exist.
Nobody
Rusty.
at home tweet that at Fish. Do not tweet him
Why
curved
do you like
buildings.
curved buildings?
Just Do
So
not
like
like
the Sydney Opera House?
It's when I used to. I'm okay with that because that's a, you know,
Curved dome on a roof or whatever the heck it is.
It's very creative, very artistic. I don't like curved buildings where the curve serves no purpose. It's a long story. It's a long story, Spawn.
Doesn't sound that long.
Let's not delve into it.
It was a pretty short story from what I heard.
For goodness sake. Let's get straight into this match instead, shall we? Legacy are going to start with another prolonged leash for Zach this time round. Carbon is going to kill both of the Raptors here, so doing a little bit better than Spooks already. And kicks that off.
And you can see that once again it's given Chiefs duo lane access to the bottom wave first. And that means that they are going to be able to get an experience advantage. So one creep died, and they look to go aggressive.
It's a nice little start here from the side of the Chiefs. Again, that level 2 will be cemented, but Lost he's trying his best to win this trade. And
goodness.
I'd say he is.
Yeah, good damage, and he's still going. Chucking spears into Ejim again.
And Raze took Doran's blade into this.
But keep your eyes peeled for that level 2, because again, Lost, he traded his health during this to win the trade. Alistar starts to get heals up when minions die, and they still control the lane if nothing else.
So level 2 has been picked up by Raze and Ejim. Cupcake and Lost back off. Playing it very respectfully. Claire in the mid lane doing absolutely fine against Swiffer to kick things off. This should change once we approach the level 6 mark.
I think it's a little bit later. I think it's, you know, after the Gunblade comes in where he really starts to take over. Swiffer's still a huge proponent of the assassination item, being able to take him into their side lane.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair as well, going for a cleanse on Orianna means that you're at higher risk of being burst out earlier.
Yep.
So even maybe at the just revolver stage, the Blanc starts to control.
Carbon's made his way towards the top side of the map.
You want to dive Kled? I think they're just going to trade sides of the jungle right now. You can see Ejim doing the exact same thing that young Cupcake went for in game number 1. He goes over the wall. He's going to sweep out.
They're not exactly trading sides of the jungle just yet. Spooks has gone from Gromp to Wolves.
Yeah, but he's going to do Wolves and potentially go towards those Raptor camps if he doesn't want to recall straight away.
Sniper's spotting him out. Carbon wants to actually dive on in.
And that's a waste of time for Carbon. He should have just ignored him and finished up the camp.
It's certain alpha male status, isn't it?
Meanwhile, mid lane, you can see good trades coming out from Swiffer. Claire taking a lot of damage from that, but does have health potions to pop.
And Claire, I was actually watching his stream last night. He's a curious Orianna player. I would say closer to Doinby, if you know what I mean, for you two on the desk. But he uses a lot of mana, uses a lot of extra spells to clear minion waves. And that's something that can sometimes, whilst you win small trades in your lane, mean that you're out of mana for times where you need to rotate or group, or you don't have those spells when people start trading on you.
Chiefs being way more respectful this time around, actually walk in. They're going to spot out the fact that Carbon didn't take all of the Raptors away, so Spooks does the job for him, cleans out that camp.
Carbon has gone back to base though, so he'll be able to go down, pick up his big Krug camp, which has not been touched by Spooks so far.
Swipe, there's a wave behind in the top lane as well. Interesting that that's happened at all.
Tally still
you have to think because of how much Carbon was up there, that's probably to be expected.
Tally still has, or just popped all 3 of his crafting potion charges, so Swiper will get a lot of health back from being mounted back onto Skarl. Good trade coming out from the Chiefs top laner.
That was an awesome trade. There mustn't have been a Q available, and he just ran at him and started swacking him in the head.
That is how the trade works, though. In a traditional sense, Jarvan uses his Q to clear waves and harass you in the second that's missing, especially when you are Kled on Skarl, is you dash forwards, use your bear trap, and just auto-attack him 6 times.
Spooks potentially is looking for a dive there, but Tally does keep the wave off the turret instead, moves towards the Gromp camp.
They've spotted out exactly where Carbon is. So Carbon, 2 wards. One just died, but another was on the little choke. He jumps over the wall, but still was in very clear vision. So Spooks knows he's headed towards this side of Summoner's Rift. He's going to spot him out on a sweeper as well. Doing a good job of tracking Legacy's jungle and playing much more conservative this game. No teleports back to lane, although here we go.
Finally, there's going to be a fight. Cupcake will get stunned up by Ejim. Now the sports take too much damage there. Ray's actually missing the pedal charges.
Yeah, weird angle. Means that he loses out very hard in that trade.
Lost is still sticking spears into him. Good stun, lands onto Ejim, rips out the spears too.
And these trades are very interesting because Ejim just ground pounds Cupcake and Lost and Razor hitting each other the whole time. And if that's a trade that happens where Alistar's not stopping a Kalista from auto-attacking, then Kalista does start to do a lot of damage there in these trades.
Tally gets back to his lane, has already picked up his Tiamat, so big purchase for him. You expect Swiper to do the same thing on Skarl. Clyde, I should say.
And this is a time in the lane where Claire can start spamming into Swiffer a little bit more successfully because Swiffer's gone Revolver, as he always does on the LeBlanc pickup. And you can see that he's come back with Lost Chapters as well as Refillable Potions. So with the Doran's Ring, with the Refillable Potion, he should be able to continually push in this lane and try and put some CS pressure on Swiffer and make that gold gap a little bit bigger than what it currently is. Because if they stay completely even in this mid lane, at a certain point, LeBlanc will just be able to kill you.
Carmen's going to do some clown jungle of his own over towards the wolf camp of Spooks. He's got plenty of wards to spot out. Cheeky invades can help them. Spooks going to be a little bit slower here.
He's also got Cupcake coming over, and Spooks has been spotted on 2 wards so
They
far.
know exactly where he is.
Yeah, Cupcake's
He's
gonna
in
back
trouble.
up. Gets a good stun down. It's a level 6 Cho'Gath there, but
Hello.
first blood in the top lane?
And Swiper actually tweeted something really peculiar. He said, I'm going to solo kill Tally, or he will solo kill me. As there's more action in the mid lane.
Kind of takes quite a bit of a trade there, but I'd love to see what happens top side of the map there. Because that
Certainly
is
would.
very surprising.
And that's with teleport down, so he's going to lose a lot, Fish, if you don't mind. And Kled shreds through turrets with that W.
It certainly does. The only consolation is that Legacy were able to burn the flash away from Spooks in that small engage. Okay, look at the damage here. It's a good stun. Knockback with time. That's the
Teleport
bottom lane coming out from Swiffer looking for this fight. Don't even need him. Already picked up a kill there.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's a really nice gank coming in from Spooks because it looked like Ejim was finally going to punt him away as we see the replay in the top lane. Actually gets Bear Trap on the rope. Double joust there. And then Tally uses his Q and he just all-ins it.
Yeah, he was pretty much dead before that point anyway, given that Kled had his charge. I feel like Tally, by using the Q, was trying to dismount him. Then he may be able to get away safely.
Yep.
But stays on the Skull, stays on the Dracolops.
Of course, one thing that is very overlooked about Kled is when he gets dismounted, he loses so much movement speed. He has the lowest base movement speed by an absolute metric. Yep, in the game.
Ton.
So we'll see whether at any point in
waddles.
this game it comes. Yeah, he does. He's
Kled's
a short
like a
man.
penguin that, you know, rides a mount.
Waddle waddle. Meanwhile, Ejim looking to try and pick up this pink ward, but Claire.
Another Fire Drake to start off this game. Spicy Dragons.
Yeah, right, Benji again.
Mate, you need to stop that.
So, Ejim really wants this ward.
Had a bit of a chat to Cupcake as well there. You can see big CS numbers in the lead for Carbon.
Ejim looking very
Ejim
good.
has
Like
flash.
Claire gonna get locked down. Good flash from him, but should have known that was coming.
I mean, Ejim sat there for so long, Fish. At a certain point, you just have to back away from the wave, I feel. He's gone Moby Boots Rush as well.
It's a very interesting start to the game so far, in my opinion. Anyway, just laning phase has been the premise of most of this. The kill that happens bottom is a gank from Spooks. The kill that happens top lane is a solo kill, but in terms of map movements, Carbon, he's putting more efforts towards trying to find Spooks, and there's been a slight CS advantage, but you can't really stop the Cho'Gath.
Certainly can't. And the big thing for me is just the difference in these two teams. You can see Cupcake picks up a Sightstone straight away. He wants to be able to control vision with his jungler. Ejim has just rushed Moby Boots in what has been a very stay-at-home kind of game where you could get some health on Alistar and see if you can take over. Instead, he's gone for the playmaking ability.
Sniper wants another kill topside the map. Tally.
He's
half
absolute
one
monster.
combo.
He's about to get him.
He's going to be able to flag and drag away.
I mean, one more of those trades and Tally falls down. Swiper is absolutely huge. Those boots too means that Tally can't touch him at the moment.
Yeah, it's starting to question this pick coming out from Legacy because they picked the Jarvan into Kled.
Was for comp. I mean, that's all you can say for Tally. He knew that the lane lost. I've spoken to Tally about this. It's absolutely for comp. And, oh, Carbon's been spotted here.
And Spooks decides not to cancel that.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants him to go in and then all of a sudden Kled just runs down river and they 2v2.
And you know that Kled's going to take out the Jarvan in the 1v1. You bring in Spooks to just nom somebody and then you win.
And what did Legacy do from here? Because slowly Chiefs are starting to win this game in the mid and top side of the map. Raze has got a kill to keep him sustained in this
But
mid
the
lane.
game isn't over, and we've seen the mental toughness of this Legacy lineup time and time again in the OPL. And, you know, we talk about it a lot, but the Chiefs, they lost game one pretty decisively. They would have been coming into this game talking about how they're going to be first on the ladder after this. A 2-0 would have got them that position bit. They can still get back to equal first, although losing the head-to-head out against the Direwolves.
Yep.
And if they lose one team fight, you have to think, like, is this a team that will be able to recoup and move on with it? Because we've heard Raze and Swiffer talk about it in the past. They really don't like losing games of League of Legends in Oceania.
They don't. Chiefs, however, use their pressure top side of the map from Swiper to take down top lane out of turret. No response for Legacy.
Yeah, not even a Baron. Baron.
Yeah,
11 minutes in the game would have been hard, but the Fire Drake started up. Now it is, but TP is available out of Swiper. They're pinging it out.
Yeah, Spooks does go back to base, so he can... Actually, no, decides to ping out towards Rift.
They're going to trade, yeah.
This.
So instead of doing it, they stay towards the strong point of their map, which is the Kled. They don't choose to teleport and try and perhaps outsmite. They don't know how long the Drake's been done for. Yep. That's a very early Infernal. There's a chance that Legacy runs straight to the Herald and prevent it from being done.
Yeah,
but look at the Chiefs members here.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, Spooks, he doesn't have all that much mana, but they don't know how long they've been on Herald either. Although they're going for it, and I think that's a bad call.
He's going to flag and drag out. Good call there, and Chiefs going to have to get Herald reset.
He actually uses a blast cone and then just goes straight back over the wall. Yeah. If that bear trap on a rope connects and pulls him a little bit further away, if Swiper maybe ults first and then gets a bear trap on a rope, completely different story. Now they're sieging out mid lane and they're looking for a dive.
Yeah, they definitely are looking. Carbon actually out of position almost. Nope. He missed out. He slammed the ground.
Whiffed it.
They won't be able to get too much damage onto this turret. And they're still behind a turret as well as 1,500 gold, but Legacy make the best out of a bad situation.
To be fair, this time around, only really Orianna benefits hugely from that Infernal Drake. You know, Callista is an attack speed 80 carry primarily, unless you go towards Bloodthirster. So it's going to be useful, but not as useful as, you know, something like a Caitlyn that goes for the raw power of the AD.
And if you tally, whilst the Infernal Drake's nice because you have 2 AD items in your build, you might want an Ocean Drake with the way that Swiper's manhandling him at the moment.
Yep.
I'd love to be able to take a look at the gold stats here to see where it lies. You have to think it's on Swiper as well as Raze at the moment.
You let the Scuttle Crab eat it.
Potentially Spooks as well, because he shared that turret gold. They're going in very quickly onto Claire. No flash available.
And he'll be able to get out in time, gets enough move speed from his W.
EGM's got mobility boots and flash though, so whilst Claire is out this time, there is about 45 seconds to look for it still if they choose. Claire's pretty much at a time in the game where he's going back to base, and Swiffer was going back to base, so that was just an optimistic look.
Trade top side of the map again. Tally taking a lot of damage from Swiper. He's going to flag a drag his way out. But here comes Claire charging in. Tally flashed over the wall, finds Spooks. He's got nowhere to run here. Avoids the dodge, a knock-up I should say. Tally has to get over the wall somehow. Cataclysm gets popped, but he gets trapped between the top laner and jungler and gets taken down.
Yeah, so another time that Tally falls and another kill over to Swiper. This one should lead to Rift Herald because Swiper has come as well at the start of it. So the Chiefs just picking on that one counter pick that they got in the draft.
And what did Legacy attack? They can't attack mid lane, they can't attack bottom lane.
They don't attack anything, unfortunately. They just keep on farming. They let the Herald go.
But this is why, in my opinion, this has always been the classic of the OPL. Because these teams can carry from any role. Swiper, known as that, you know, potato tank player, all of a sudden picks up a carry. He's got 2 kills, one of which was solo.
He hasn't taken the Herald buff. Go back and get it. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
What's going on?
Go and get the buff immediately before I come back there.
How long does it last?
Not that long.
A decent amount of time.
Actually about to go over there and give him a clip behind the ears.
Spooks is about to get nominated for the worst Rift Heralds.
If you don't... Oh my god.
Spooks!
This is not the first time. I mean,
You're on the bench.
He's already had a bad Rift Herald use. That's just not...
I'm not even the coach and he's on the bench.
What is going on?
That hurts.
Did he steal it?
Please tell me that this is a visual bug of sorts.
It's gone. No, it's not, because it's not in any of their inventory, mate. Someone must have stolen it. That's the only thing I can think of.
So this happened in the LCK, and the interview said we both thought the other person took it. I hope that's the case, because I'm a little bit sad.
Hello, Blue Buff. Come for a ride with good old Zach.
So it wasn't stolen. Chiefs got that Rift Herald. They just didn't get the Rift Herald. You know, they got the 50 gold for the Rift Herald. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Now. But, yeah, so Spooks twice in the OPL.
That's a tilter.
I'm tilted.
If I'm in this game, I lose the game off the back end of that. If I'm the jungler, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's over.
At least,
do they realize?
At least it's his second worst Rift Herald use here. The first time he actually put Swiffer behind by running it down mid lane.
The Rift Herald, not him. You have to be careful with your choice of war.
It's a 20 CS lead in the mid lane, actually, for Claire at the moment. He's doing absolutely fine.
The question is, have they realized? And at what point do they have the conversation between top laner and jungler?
It expired. I don't know what happened. It was a really quick expiration, guys.
My goodness. But that's got to hurt. Chiefs are 2,500 gold in the lead, though. So to be very comfortable with where they're at. A lot of it is in Swiper. He's a Black Cleaver over Tally at the moment, who's sitting on a cage.
I think as well, while we were talking about the slight advantages that Chiefs have, primarily through the top lane is where most of that is going to be. You still look at Legacy as a team composition and say, all right, like they're very much happy with how this early game's gone because the Jarvan, once he gets his 3 items, has a Shockwave to back him up. Everyone is still sitting reasonably pretty, but Tally, and that's just in comparison to how large Swiper is. Like 175 CS at 16 minutes, that man is a Krug team, and he's ahead.
And Dragon is respawning, so the Chiefs with fresh shops are starting to try and get access into this river. It's going to be 35 seconds, and this is the stage of the game where they really lost touch with game 1. So we have to see whether they can actually execute well enough or whether the big wombo combo out of Legacy will be, I guess, you know, once again, what causes them to falter.
And if you're Legacy here, do you look for the fight? Do you try to force this over the next Infernal Dragon?
Not anymore.
Not anymore, you know.
In so much trouble, taking a lot of damage. Carbon jumps in, going to deliver an Alistar into the team. Ejim pops his ultimate, flashes away. Teleport's being channeled by both teams. Silence comes out, but no Rupture. Swiper will join the fight. Oriana throws out the ball. Carbon will jump away to safety, gets locked down. Good chunks coming out from the Chiefs.
Now, definitely not, because your jungler's been chunked, your mid lane has been chunked. You just call this one a day. You say, we got the first one, they get the second one. You know, all will be okay on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, in fact, the Chiefs even had a cheeky thought about maybe we just hard push mid lane because they're having no health on most members, where before it was just the Oriana. And so that will be a free objective. Ori's going to stay around, though, and that's risky.
They did get a couple of flashes, though.
Yep.
So Ejim as well as Swift's flash is down, but they lose Infernal Dragon.
Depends where you can pressure, right? Because they also use Carbon Belt in the next couple of seconds. Oh, Ejim, you're in trouble. You might
take
be
a lot
dead.
of damage. He's got no ultimate available. Ejim going to try and W his way out. Gets slammed against a ward and lost. Rips the spears out of the cow, picks up a kill.
Absolutely no idea what they were doing. They must have thought that Carbon had gone back to base and that they could 2v2, but at this stage of the game, you have to think that Kalista is probably going to be queen, as well as the fact that Jarvan Ultimate's still available. So a little bit of a questionable decision coming out of the Chiefs duo lane there.
Yeah, very curious stuff. Of course, having control of every other lane that isn't bottom, they managed to find the one lane that they can die, and they managed to secure the death. It's very curious.
But they are now going back, and Swiffer is heading down. They also have Spooks already in that lane.
See double dash come out from Swiffer. Nice. Just says, all right.
Got to attack the Kalista, guys.
4 summoner spells there. At the very least, you get a flash out of Lost if you hit the chains. You cannot afford to go for a Taric, as you mentioned, when a Kalista can
Unless
save him.
they're looking for a dive now, and all they wanted was a Kalista ult. I mean, there is the opposite end to that argument as well.
Taric ultimate?
Yeah, Taric ultimate's still up and available.
I think diving's very difficult, especially for a champion like Xayah, who needs to do consistent damage. The Taric ultimate would go off during the duration it takes to kill a Taric and a Kalista, but the threat
also has pretty good burst. I mean,
enough.
the R into the E is really nice damage at this stage of the game. Later on in the game, certainly more about the consistency.
Yeah, I think that and the Cho'Gath's silence is a big game changer here. You're against a lot of the champions that Legacy have got. If you can silence Carbon before he ults, you can silence Taric before he ults.
It's one of those legacy abilities, like not legacy as in the team, like legacy as in old abilities in League of Legends, that you just kind of wonder how it ended up in the game. Like the
LeBlanc's silence.
Yeah, LeBlanc silence, Viger Cage, AoE silence that can hit 5 members and really ruin their day. Cho'Gath, he's got a couple of them, actually. The big knock-up on his Q that is a slow as well.
Yeah.
And then the silence.
And the true damage feast that scales with bonus health.
Yeah, he's an old school champion.
He's a monster.
A bit of a gremlin.
He's a gentleman and a scholar is what he is.
At the
Gentleman
moment.
gremlin. Wearing a top hat.
Oh, boy. But Legacy have lost 2 out of turrets in this game, and despite that one being picked up by the Chiefs, they're still only 2,000 gold behind. So they're doing something good here. Spooks will steal the Raptor away. Sorry, the Scuttle Crab.
Carbon's angry.
Goes in for fight. He is angry. Stunned up here. Carbon looking for the rubber hands. Forces a flash out of Spooks.
I mean, that's certainly worthwhile. However, the Chiefs are just trying to buy time. I mean, Spooks was being cute there by stealing that away. Ooh, Tally.
Tally!
Even
Got him. Swiper's not happy.
Swiper standing still is defiant.
Oh, no! Once bitten, twice shy!
All of them.
Swiper, just, you know, hands off keyboard.
First it was the Herald. I feel like an angry telling me what my hands just did.
Oh, that's a surrender at 20 moment there. That's where life's not good
But
for the
there's
Chiefs.
2 levels between them. It's the one thing I have to point out. Shockwave burnt to just try and save this mid lane turret. Still might not be enough.
Cannon though, but here comes Carbon into the back line. He's looking to slam this support and jungler together. There goes Claire looking for damage. Cupcake though delivers him into the team. It's going to be a stun coming through and Spooks dies for this one. Egypt does have his ultimate popped, but will eventually fall due to all the spears that Lost has chucked into the Mukau.
And once again, ooh, Tally actually falls low. So if they go towards Baron.
Swiffer going to jump over the wall, gets back to his distortion, tries to lock down Lost, gets some good chip damage onto the 80 carry from Legacy.
This is a bad call, guys.
This is a risky call with 2 tanks. It's possible, but Lost is being targeted.
And
Lost, whilst he has Blade of the Ruin King and his Callista, yes, it can be done quickly. I don't like it.
Here comes Tally as well, teleporting very early into the team, looking for a flank. Might be able to get on top of Raze. They throw out Cupcake. He pops the ultimate very early, jumps on top of Swiffer. Very low mana on this LeBlanc. Gonna get auto attacks.
He hit the wall again.
What? Swiffer 2 games into a wall. My goodness. Carbon will fall to his passive. Raze is looking to try and pick this one up. Here comes Claire. Will flash deeper into the base. Chiefs stop the Baron for a while, but they lose so many of their team members.
They're just feeding.
What are you doing? The Chiefs are just giving kills over to Legacy, and this has definitely brought them back into this game.
What is the Chiefs doing? A complete capitulation of the Chiefs Esports Club has just happened on your screen. The first kill needed to be there. Maybe Raze needs to die as well, but Swiper does not need to give up his life. And Spooks, just get out of there. Give me a reset of the map.
I feel like their hype music for today was some You Raise Me Up. They're having a really bad time, the Chiefs, when it comes to these mid-game fights, these skirmishes. Even like the small things of Raze flashing towards Legacy's base at the end of this was just entirely unnecessary. And Swiffer headbutts the wall, these small things that it could buy a second. And ultimately, the problem is that they're there in the first place for the mistake to happen. Legacy, they force the Baron, they then force the fight afterwards with a Callista, which is great. But all of this, like, why is all of this currently happening?
I mean, what is he actually going to do on the back end of that team fight? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And then Swiper falls down as well. He goes in 1v5, literally. And that means that the gold is all square. What was a 3,000 gold lead for the Chiefs is now nothing.
And Legacy have this big team fighting team composition ready to go. They did burn quite a few summoner spells to get back into this position. Let's see if Chiefs can counter that out. Another Infernal Dragon is spawning, and Carbon's going in straight away. Big Cataclysm coming out. Raze has been locked down. No summoners available, and big Shockwave will go through as well. Raze almost said one more tap will kill him, but Tally's going to be the first to fall in this team fight. Chiefs still trying to turn this around, but Lost rips the spears out. He gets 2 of the Chiefs members. Swiper's been knocked off his Cowardly Lizard. Claire picks one up for the team as well. It's a 1-for-3 trade.
Even kindly giving the kills to Claire Spawn. This is massive for Legacy.
I mean, 6-0-1 now for the 80 carry of Legacy, and completely undeterred on the back end of that team fight. Swiper uses the ultimate too late. It's double Infernal Dragon. It is the first gold lead of the day. Game, and now they have
Raze. He's gonna die here. Carbon looking for that final auto attack, just spits out the bloblets, destroys him there. Swiffer can't do anything about it. Going back in, trying to get Claire. Not enough damage.
Yeah, that was the confidence play from both Chiefs members, mid lane and AD carry. They wanted to outplay somebody for what feels like maybe the first time this game as individuals, but it wasn't allowed.
Ooh, looking to kill Carbon here. Gets enough damage for it. A bit over aggressive there.
I mean, Lost is still behind him. You have to watch out for Lost right now. I mean, I can't look at anyone else.
This turret should be taken down here by the Chiefs. Don't think Carbon should have died for that one. It was 0-8 to that point. Oh, sorry, 1-0-8.
I don't think Lost has shopped, though, since that fight, right?
Nah, he hasn't. He's gone back.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the difference. If he had money, then maybe they take the fight that doesn't look great, just because he will make it look great.
Oh my goodness, so now 2,000 gold lead for Legacy. 1 turret picked up for them to 2. Mid lane's going to fall shortly for the Chiefs, because you give them some breathing room. And they've got a big choke-off. Warmog's picked up by Spooks.
They actually are doing this right now.
I mean, that's a great call.
They need Raze.
Smart.
And the wards aren't spotting them right now.
Very smart from the Chiefs. This is going to be a free Baron picked up. Now Legacy ping it. It's too late. This is gone.
Can they get there? As Rusty mentioned, it's all the tanks. Orianna is approaching. They're backed off.
Nope, this is gone. Picked up by the Chiefs. Very smart, but they go for the fight instead. Tally jumps to the back lines. Ray's locked down. No, flash for him. Carbon goes to the back lines. That's going to be Ray's using his own ultimate. Will lock down the Bloblet man himself. He needs to back out. Shockwave pulls Swiper away from the initiation. That's all Legacy can get out of it. But they go more. They're throwing in the Cupcake. Here goes Tarek into the back lines. Righteous Glory popped as well. Good damage from Claire, but they just destroy the support. And Swiffer once more. He's going back in. Rupture being popped by Spooks. Looking for more damage, but they can't get it.
Yeah, and Legacy, they're racing towards top lane. However, they've already sent Raze towards mid lane. He's got Baron buff, and he's going to absolutely shred these turrets. Teleport is available for Tally. However,
Swiper looking for a flank in the back line. Swiffer's going to die, though.
Yep.
And here comes Swiper. He did teleport and complete it. It's going to be a 3-on-3.
He's about to charge in.
They have to kill this turret. Legacy can't fight with that there. They will get the turret to kick things off. Ejim's right behind it. Spooks looking for the fight as well. They don't have much damage though, Chiefs. They have to be careful. This is Lost Sinclair in a fight. Good pulverize coming in. Teleport's coming in as well. Big slam from Carbon stops the charge.
He's still alive.
Lost is godlike and he's just jumping around in circles, making Swiper look like an absolute fool. Teleport comes in for Tally and Chiefs, they have to back off.
What are they doing? Again, they run into...
Spirit's going to get slammed against the wall. Look at Lost. He deals so much damage to this resistant-less Cho'Gath there. Raze even almost getting one shot by Claire, forced to pop the ultimate to dodge out the shockwave.
And Zaya's finally there, but the thing is, he's pushing mid, so don't take the fight. Don't teleport or you bring your Zaya up because you are 3 tanks that are relying on the fact that you've got a Cho'Gath ultimate to kill a carry that is Hex Drinker, now more of Malmortius, and you've got Claire and Orianna to protect him. Everything that the Chiefs are doing feels way too rushed and not thought out.
They look like a nervous squad. The most experienced team in the OPL right now look like they have game day jitters, and it is absolutely Legacy's time to shine.
The Super Week curse returns. We talked a lot about how Sin did so well in Super Weeks. Chiefs, though, they just don't seem to do well in Super Weeks at all.
Historically, the question was, is it Sin doing well or Chiefs doing poorly when a Super Week comes around? I feel like we have, in part, our answer at the very least.
2,000 gold lead for Legacy at the moment. Swiffer looking to do some sign lane pressure here. Gets Tally down fairly low.
But now the whole team is collapsing on his head. You've got Orianna coming from one angle.
Actually, he'll be fine.
Let's see. Blast cone's away. Everyone just charges on in, and he jumps over the wall. Perfectly fine. Has
Imagine if they had Baron buff still on Swiper.
Yeah.
Mid lane inner turret will fall. Somehow Chiefs have more turrets than Legacy, but are still behind. Raze flashing so early. That was barely back off of cooldown.
Yeah, exactly right. Now all of a sudden what was looking like a rotation towards the top lane, get Raze to apply his Baron buff, see if he can take another turret and maybe regain some semblance of control over this game, has turned into a full-blown retreat. Everyone is basing, and it becomes this. Can Orianna do enough side lane damage at this stage of the game to really justify Swiffer's pick?
I really want to take a look at the gold here because Lost is sitting at 7-0-2, 12,000. But Raze very close behind, 11,500.
Yeah, a lot of it's actually through mid lane. When you look at the side of Legacy, where the difference is in gold, there is an advantage for support as well. But I mean, realistically, you are looking at Claire, 407 in particular. Yes, Lost is fed, but Raze has been supported to farm well. He's managed to keep himself up.
And the only lead for the Chiefs is top side of Matt Swipe is about 2,000 gold ahead of Tally.
The thing is,
them in this game.
The shockwave hurts these
Flank
because of how fed he is.
Flank is coming out from Swiffer. That's not a clone. We'll get jumped on straight away by Carbon. W's away from that shockwave. Looks to go huge, but it doesn't matter. They lose the turret straight off the bat. Everyone for Legacy invulnerable. Spooks takes so much damage. He wants to kill Tally, but it's not going to be enough. And Carbon dashes in. Lost gets that first kill. Swiffer's forced to abort the team fight as Carbon just keeps the mid laner from the Chiefs occupied.
Yeah, and now Swiffer's caught out of position. Shockwave.
Forced the flash.
Yeah, big play there from Claire. Looks like he was maybe out of position and Swiffer wants to find him and a way out. But they're going.
Jumps in. Cataclysm. No flash for Raze. Will deliver the Mookow backwards. But Raze so low. Tally gets that kill. Carbon jumps back on in and Swipe has been dismounted from Skull. Egypt is going to get the spears ripped out of him. This could be all over here, ladies and gentlemen. Return kill for Swiffer. Dashes away again. Double for Lost. He wants the triple. Is he going to get it? Denied by the Orianna, but ace picked up by Legacy.
And now they're just waiting for the creeps. Lost again carries another team fight. They're going to break the base. Cho'Gath is back available, but the rest of the Chiefs members are still dead.
Cooldowns are too low. It's 20 seconds for the next member. This could be game.
It's certainly possible they look towards this again. Lost and Claire still alive. Cho'Gath is buying time, stopping the minions, and Carbon's now going to try and stop Spooks. They may not be able to do this because of how tanky Spooks is and no Baron.
Lost does get a lot of damage into the first Nexus turret, and Legacy, they decide to take the safe play, which is to back off. Swiffer does have teleport, but still, he's the last member to respawn for the Chiefs. It's now a 6,000 gold lead for Legacy with double Infernal.
I'm still looking at Claire, I'm going to be honest with you. Lost is having a fantastic performance, and you can only give him credit being 10-0-4, but Claire against Swiffer was the matchup we said to watch.
Yep.
He's into a matchup again where LeBlanc was picked into Orianna, and he is 5-0-11 with a 50 CS advantage. One of these mid laners looks better today.
Oh,
Carbon.
I was about to sing the praises of Carbon, but he just made 2 mistakes.
He actually
in a
might be
row.
dead.
He's probably going to die here. Oh no, Carbon!
Cho'Gath has no nom, but he
This
might
is-
still
But
die.
Skull is here. Skull, Kled.
There we go.
Actually, don't pull the trigger on it.
That was a disaster waiting to happen. But I was about to speak highly of Carbon. He's played 2 fantastic sets. First in the
can't actually
Gragas,
charge over
now in the
walls.
Zac. He cannot.
Yeah, so I think that's why. Anyway,
Take another look at the fight. Raze gets stove on. Once again, doesn't have the flash available, only the healing. You can see that the front line is just too big, and that leaves Lost, honestly, standing still free hitting at this stage of the game. You can see the big Rens are coming out. He's able to continue this fight time and time again. And Swiffer just is not far enough ahead to really justify this pick at the moment.
yeah, and for me, I do want to bring it back to that LeBlanc again. I am okay with the decision. I'm okay with trying to pull apart Legacy's team composition with a split pusher, but Legacy have the same similar comp of 4 plus an Orianna, and so their team fighting is immaculate. And again, when either of these teams are ahead, I don't think there's counterplay to the composition of it.
I mean, any comp when it's ahead looks very good, but when you're playing 1-3-1 against a 1-4 comp and you fall behind, it is very hard to execute.
Yeah.
And the same would have been said if the Chiefs were able to snowball. The problem is that 2 games, 2 early advantages for the Chiefs Esports Club, and both times they've given their lead away.
Legacy looking to force another fight. Cataclysm used. Raze has
Raze
no
ulted
ultimate
already.
left. He's stuck in the wall. Look at his health bar. That's almost gone. He's forced out of this fight. Uses his heal as well. Swiffer does get a return kill to Tally. Carbon flashes over the wall, and Raze does the do to get back to safety. So Chiefs actually looking good to kick things off. Let's see if Raze can get back and heal up. Swiper wants to kick off this fight. Spooks as well.
Carbon!
Living with next to nothing, but Carbon delivers 2 members into the team. Claire's dominating as he kills the support for the Chiefs. Swiper's the next to fall. Double kill for the Clockwork wind-up. And Chiefs have to defend their Nexus.
They certainly do, and they're going to have to do it a man down with only 1 turret available, Fish.
Zaya with no ultimate is the place I'm looking towards. Orianna has Shockwave.
This could be it. Legacy are trying to win the game right here.
Oh,
Swiffer
the
goes in.
knock-up.
Big knock-up coming out from Spooks. Lost is very low, but Shockwave brings it back to Earth. Lost goes legendary. He's bouncing around the rift. Raze will pick up a shutdown there on towards the Orianna, but a double kill for Lost. Make that a triple kill for Lost as Legacy march towards the Nexus. They take down the Chiefs 2-0 and start off strong in the first Super Week.
Big plays from Legacy. The Super Week curse for the Chiefs continues, but Legacy ramping up with a 2-0. Puts them in the first.
And the fist bump down the line, you can see that this team, I mean, the Adelaide Crows, they fly as one, we fly as one is their slogan. And I think that this Legacy team, they are at their best when they have 5 members on the same screen and they're able to take those big team fight victories. And in back-to-back games, they were the team that team fought better.
Rift Rivals has done wonders for this Legacy squad. Moving into 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. They had a decent performance at Rift Rivals. Carbon was very vocal about that he was upset about their game against Gigabyte Marines. Come back into it, 2 2-0s, and one of them's against the Chiefs, and they've looked stronger than ever.
It helps to have that international experience, to get that international buff when you compete over there. And a lot of it is the wake-up call of, hang on, we're not the best team even here at this tournament, where I thought we were just the best region. Suddenly we're losing to the teams that are second from these regions. And then Legacy, they get that motivation. It helps.
All right, before we jump into Legacy, they played 2 stellar games.
Ooh.
I want to talk about the Chiefs because this is a lineup that finished 4th in Split 1, unprecedented in the OPL. They dropped their first best of 5 in Oceanic soil. Then all of a sudden, you know, you go back towards this game and they look like they're performing well. And once again, they don't perform to their optimal standards, or Legacy outperform them, whichever one it is. Is this the end of an era? Are the Chiefs finally, you know, done as the kings of the region?
I mean, I'm not willing to call it a close until the end of this split, but I feel like this performance is indicative of some very defined weaknesses where I've never looked at the Chiefs since their existence in 2014 and said they've got weaknesses that you'd take apart. I'd say there is a weakness, you'll never get to it. But now I'd say Legacy just outclassed them in a game where I'd never usually say that.
I agree. I mean, we heard from Legacy before the match started. I agree with what they said. You can't count Chiefs out unless they lose this split in the same style they did last one. That was an error, so to speak. But this game, back-to-back, it was execution problems from the Chiefs. Their ideas were perfectly fine. They were turrets ahead of Legacy again, but when it came down to execution, they fumbled over and over and over again.
All right, so let's give credit where credit's due, because the Chiefs dropped the ball, but it takes a very good team to be able to pick it up against the Chiefs and run away with the games in the way that Legacy were able to. And it was on the back of their 2 carries. I mean, Carbon fell behind this game. Tally was actually getting solo killed by Swiper, and then all of a sudden Lost and Claire absolutely explode on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, the carries were huge, and you know, Spooks may have out-jungled Carbon, but when these carries are able to hit the team fights, the thing that I really enjoyed watching from this is when you look at Chiefs composition, how Legacy have to play against it. It's kill the Xayah and you win the game. We said that during the draft phase. Well, the easiest way to get rid of Xayah's ultimate to then kill her is by having the Zac go in. And you can fall behind a Zac. Your job is still to disrupt and crowd control to threaten the shockwave. And Orianna, even with the distance Zac has to cover, was always in range of the shockwave. Force the Xayah ultimate, and then you just win the team fight every single time. The carries played incredibly well from Legacy.
And when you're up against a team composition like this, it's so important to have your ultimate up, to have your heal, to have your flash. So many weird engages coming out from the Chiefs, especially the one when we saw Raze burning heal and flash to get deeper into Legacy's base. It's uncalled for. And that means the next fight, you're going to lose. After that, it snowballs into another fight where you burn your flash again. The fight after that, you're going to lose. And it's just really weird play coming out from AD carry.
I feel the confidence coming from Lost from level 1 in this game. The second they had a trade down in bottom lane and Lost out-traded Raze, I was like, okay, he's warmed up. He's actually here to play, and there's nothing that was going to stop him. Cupcake did not have a standout performance on the Taric. In fact, he missed a lot of things. He flashed forwards to stun people that were dodging the stun already. There wasn't a great showing from him, but Lost had him covered, had well and truly had him covered, and just played out of his mind.
And the big thing for me is Legacy covered the weaknesses that we saw from Tally and Carbon to start off the game, as you mentioned, Spawn, and that was the big factor for them getting back into the game, and eventually we saw Tally and Carbon took over it and delivered the goods. They set up the fights for Lost as well as Claire to take over.
Yeah, they certainly got tanky enough to be able to dive into that backline of the Chiefs. However, you do have to look at the backline, because all of a sudden, Raze, I was about to call him Quinn by his first name, Raze has gone from having a fantastic split where, you know, I think he's had 2 or 3 pentakills already, Fish, to having an absolutely atrocious set against Legacy today. He was late to rotations in game number 1. His team fighting in use of summoner spells in game 2 was not on point at all. He's not going to be happy with himself. And we also said that, you know, maybe this is a guy that he's a young kid. He's still learning a lot about the game and about himself. He has had some moments where he hasn't performed in the big moments. Is this an example of a guy, you know, getting in his own head?
I don't think he's really getting in his own head the same way we saw him last split. I think up until this game, he's had a fantastic performance. Even, you know, a little bit at MSI as well. Sorry, not at MSI, even a little bit internationally as well. Yep. But this entire series, he was completely off. It looked exactly the same as when we saw him go to IWCQ, where he looked absolutely horrible, and it's the same performance here today. Hopefully, though, for the Chiefs, it's just that. It stops there, and they're able to bounce back from it.
Final thoughts, Rusty?
I mean, I don't think it's about getting in your own head all that much here. For Raze, he's a confidence player, and that's definitely a big part of it, but I never saw a moment where I thought he wasn't confident. He just got outplayed.
Certainly did, and that led to some of the results as we pull them up onto your screen. Of course, earlier tonight, it was going to be Direwolves picking up a 2-1 victory, I believe.
2-1 over Sin.
You know, we'll see if we can grab that for you in a second. There we go. Direwolves picked up the victory earlier as a 2-1 over Sin Gaming. And then, of course, Legacy versus Chiefs. Legacy hand the Chiefs their first 2-0 of this split, deny them first spot, claim it for themselves. In fact, they're now equal with the Direwolves and going to set up a beautiful match in a couple of weeks.
Yep, Direwolves week after week dropping their 2-1s. I mean, after their first game against the Chiefs was a 2-1 as well, they tied up with Legacy in terms of placement, and Legacy moving deep into the split looks stronger and stronger. Direwolves has shown even more flaws as time has gone by.
I mean, Legacy were 4-0 in third place because they kept going to game 3s, and they've managed to wrap it up quite nicely here and actually get 2-0 victories, which is a positive sign.
Yeah, and only 2 teams remain undefeated in the OPL. As we have a look at the rest of the game, games for this weekend. Of course, it's only Friday night. We still have 2 more days for you to go. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., it kicks off with Abyss Esports taking on Avant Gaming before Team Regicide head to Summoner's Rift against Sin Gaming, who will be looking for a lot of redemption. Sunday kicks off at 3 p.m. again with Team Regicide taking on TM Gaming, still searching for that first win. One of them will have it by that stage. And then Legacy round out this Super Week versus Abyss Esports, and that team must be feeling fantastic. I want to pick your brains a little bit quickly, gentlemen. Regicide versus TM Gaming. Oof. Both of them winless right now. This is going to be a huge matchup for both of these teams. T-Gun looking for his first victory, and I think nearly a year of competitive play, Rusty. This is going to be a big game. It's
going to mean a lot, if nothing else, because one of them will have a victory, but T-Gun, I think, is the place that you look towards. This will be the hungriest you'll ever see him, and we saw it when he was on X5 and didn't win a single game. He can be broken down, and that feels bad.
And TM and Regicide have been looking really good lately, so it's going to be a very close match. Excited to see who comes out on top.
Well, I absolutely cannot wait. However, guys, that is all the League of Legends we have for you tonight. Tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But until then, we'll catch you later.
He's going to fall. FBI goes further forward to pick up that kill, and King in some trouble. Returning damage, he gets the kill, stands his ground and delivers. Now Juice and Rogue forced to run away. Direwolves are looking for this team fight. Roma will get hooked up as well. He's going to be the next casualty here. Rocket jumps coming out from King. Roma's dead, and this should be Baron to the wall. What a engage. They're looking for Fantix. He's going to get locked down by Doppler. He's stuck in the pit. We'll be able to knock both of them out by King, but he gets shut down because he moves forward. Double kill has been picked up by Roma, and that's 3 kills in a team fight by Sid. But that's so quick. Already taken down, but they go for a big engage. Rogue locks down everyone. Juice body pops forward with the flash. This looks like a big team fight for Sid. FBI has killed Sid. They've taken down 3 members of the Direwolves after Baron's picked up. It's now another Wolfpack. You've got to do something. Surefire goes in the backline. He gets destroyed, and FBI flashes on King's face. Almost takes him down instantly. Instead, they focus on Nexus, and they take game 1 over the Direwolves. Rubber hands though, and brings him back. Combo from Destiny. King gets some damage. We'll lock him down, but here comes Redcard. Rogue! What an absolute monster! Surefire in trouble. Gets the rubber hand smacked down. Headshots coming up. FBI still chasing. He gets it! Lord. He got him! He got the kill! That's 2 in the bottom lane for Sid. Double knock up from Destiny. Trying to lock down FBI. There's no flash in this AD carry. Juice is in trouble. Roma's trying to fight back against the wall, but Fantix still somehow lives. Will be taken down eventually, but there goes Shurt again, straight into the backlines. Jiffy's still healthy. Ash Arrow connects. FBI can't fight. That's another shutdown. It's an ace. Surefire will lock down Roma as well. Big arrow. He flashes away. Rogue again with big engage, but isn't enough. Roma is so low. Venti's going to look for that kill, and a big slam into the ground. Sin are falling 1 by 1. Double kill. Triple kill picked up by Cassidy, but it will be the Direwolves that bring this back to a 1-1, and they'll send us to game number 3. Going to get locked down by double stunts. He's still quite healthy though. And here comes Juice. Big knockup. They will lock down Destiny. First blood is picked up by Sin's captain. Shern has been ignited, but they get a return kill. Try and take this one, Juice. Has to outsmite Shernfire. Doppler jumps in again. They go for the fight. He kicks off Destiny incredibly low. Will pop his ultimate. He's been ignited, but he will get away. However, King gets a kill to Doppler. That's 2 for the Direwolves. Make it 3 as King flashes forward.
Still getting heavy damage now.
They knock Destiny back. He's forced to flash. Juice trying to flash on his face, and Fantix being very aggressive. Can Valk over the wall, incredibly low. There's Doppler in the back lines, gets one once more. Will get locked down by King. Send him into the team. Doppler, that was an insane play. Direwolves are committing for this one. They want to try and end the game right here, right now. It's been back and forth this entire series, but Direwolves, they want to stay undefeated. They're going to get a kill onto FBI. They're onto the Nexus already. All the turrets have been destroyed, and Sin can't do anything about it. Direwolves pick up the series 2-1. It's gonna land, knocks him airborne, slams him into a minion as well. He's gonna get taken now. First blood picked up by Swift. And so we'll be able to land straight on top of Claire. Big chance coming out from each, and that's 2 members of Legacy dead. And Swiper charges in with a big ultimate. We'll lock down, lost the Cupcake. There goes Swift cutting off the speed. Big 9 to the wall. Tally gets one. Looking to kill Rates well. Jumps on his face like Super Mario. Cupcake's coming in. Double kill picked up by Lost. What the heck happened over there? Legacy turn around this team fight. Swiper goes in as well, gets a big stun, but Legacy still very healthy. They
Legacy
throw
win the
Brom to the
fight.
face. Toss me, says Cupcake. Gets it to the back lines, and that's going to be 3 kills picked up by the Chiefs. They cut them off. Good trap
engage
coming
is
out.
good.
Big engage coming out for them. They wipe the floor with Legacy. Lost trying to fight with back against the wall. Chucking spears into Egypt, but he gets bounced into the rest of the Chiefs. Tally trying to keep him alive. Lost trying to fight with the last remaining bits of health bars he has. And Tally's the last man standing. He might still kill Swift, but he might still. Boomerang connects! My goodness, the Australian Swiper. Spirit's looking for a big knockback coming in. Swiper gets a good ultimate down. They kill. Lost to kick off the fight. And Claire, he's going to follow shortly after. Tally, though, 1-on-1 against Raze. Will nair him into the Nexus. Raze going to take down straight away. Swiper with a massive ultimate. Isn't going to be enough. Spook's delivering 4 people, but the gold lead, it's just way too much for Legacy. Legacy with a decisive victory over their rivals, the Chiefs, and it's just game 1 of this best of 3 series. They're looking dominant so far. They throw out Cupcake. He pops the ultimate very early. Jumps top of Swiffer. Very low mana on this LeBlanc. Gonna get auto attacks. And he again. What? Swiffer 2 games into a wall. My goodness. Into the base. Chiefs stop the barrel for a while, but they lose so many of their team members.
They're just feeding.
What are you doing? The Chiefs are just giving kills over to Legacy, and this has definitely brought them back into this game. Carbon's going in straight away. Big Cataclysm coming out. Ray's been locked down. No summoners available, and big Shockwave will go through as well. Ray's almost said one more tap will kill him, but Tally's going to be the first to fall in this team fight. Chiefs still trying to turn this around, but Lost rips the spears out. He gets 2 of the Chiefs members. Swiper's been knocked off his Cowardly Lizard. Claire picks one up for the team as well. It's a 1-for-3 trade. This is Lost and Claire in a fight. Good pulverize coming in. Teleport's coming in as well. Big slam from Carbon stops the charge.
He's still alive.
Lost is godlike, and he's just jumping around in circles, making Swiper look like an absolute fool. Jumps in. Cataclysm, no flash for Raze. Will deliver the Moo Cow backwards, but Raze so low. Tally gets that kill. Carbon jumps back on in, and Swiper's been dismounted from Skull. Egypt is going to get the spears ripped out of him. This could be all over here, ladies and gentlemen. Return kill for Swiffer. Dashes away again. Double for Lost. He wants the triple. Is he going to get it? Denied. This could be it. Legacy are trying to win the game right here. Swiffer goes in. Big knockup coming out from Spooks. Lost is very low. A Shockwave brings it back to Earth. Lost goes legendary. He's bouncing around the rift. Raze will pick up a shutdown there on towards the Oriental, but a double kill for Lost. Make that a triple kill for Lost as Legacy march towards the Nexus. They take down the Chiefs 2-0 and start off strong in the first Super Week.